Well, hello again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on when you watch this video. And this is the second part of my explanation about designing attractive PowerPoint slides. The first part was about the Guy Kawasaki 10-20-30 rule, and now I'm going to elaborate everything I have learned about the secret behind attractive PowerPoint slides. Well, first of all, keep it simple. KIS. Yeah, not double S, just single S. Keep it simple. A good slideshow design is not the one that is full of pictures, full of words, but actually the one that is straight to the point, clear, and supported with relevant picture. You don't need 10 pictures only to clarify your point. If you can find one which is very relevant and you can formulate a sentence to support it, then that's enough. So you don't need to make a slide filled with various pictures in various qualities and size. One picture is enough. In fact, the maximum pictures you can use in one slide is just three. And then you put words, sentence, or phrase that support your picture. So together the picture and the words work harmoniously. Limit bullet points and text. Nowadays, people don't use bullet points in their PowerPoint slide. In fact, in Western countries, they don't do that anymore. However, in Indonesia, people still use bullet points. They can put 10, even 20 bullet points in one single slide. So what's the point? What are you trying to say? If you put too many sentences in one slide, the chance is your audience won't have enough time to read the sentences and they don't even have a time to understand them. So limit your bullet points. Just put the most important thing in your slide, and that means the points, the main ideas of your talk. So when you take a look at the first slide, the top left one, this is not a good slide. In 1995, this is acceptable, but not acceptable in 2013. When people come to your presentation, they don't come to read. They come to watch you and listen to you. If you want them to read, give them the handout. They read. So the first slide is like an eye chart. You know, like when you go to optician, you want to make your eyeglass, you have to read this one big paper filled with words, letters in different sizes. The top right slide is an improvement of the first slide, but this is not really good because you have too many bullets there. Yeah? There are like 8 bullets for what? So the bottom slides are better because they are simple. The slide is filled with just one picture and one simple sentence. The sentence explains the picture and the picture explains the sentence. So both pictures and the sentence work with work cohesively. And if you want to make it better, to make it even simpler, then you can try the bottom right slide. Because you want to talk about the percentage of part-time workers in Japan, and since most of them are female, then one slide showing one photo showing of working woman with the number 70% are enough, and you as the presenter will be the one who will elaborate the details. Next, limit transition builds and bullets animation. PowerPoint or Keynote from Macintosh allow us, the presenter, to create presentation slideshow with transition for text and objects. They call it transition builds or bullets animation. The problem here many people, especially beginners, abuse the feature in PowerPoint and Keynote to the point that the transition builds and bullets animation become annoying. You don't believe me? Let's watch this one. Okay, see? You see that? Do you see how the presenter create the transition builds and bullets animation in one slide? You see the bullets coming from left, coming from right, coming from the top, coming from the bottom. Sometimes they go fast, sometimes they go slow. What are you trying to say? Are you trying to show off? Are you trying to say that you are a great PowerPoint designer? Hey, this is 2013. PowerPoint is not a new thing. People are familiar with PowerPoint. Besides doing this, abusing with text transition, bullets animation in PowerPoint will annoy your audience, people who watch your presentation. So there's no point of abusing the features. If you are a first timer user, yeah, I can understand that. But as a professional, this is not what you have to do. When you do a presentation, you focus on the content of your presentation. Don't try to use the presentation as a way to show off your presentation skill, your PowerPoint skill. Yeah? You're not going to get applause for that. So, which one is better? Which method is better? Well, here you see bang, 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 bang. What do you say? Why don't you just make them disappear all at once? So a simple transition such as wipe is enough. Yeah? You don't have to hide the point one by one. Show all of them. Why do you have to make them appear one by one? Show all of them, and if you want to make them disappear, and make them disappear all at once. Now about pictures. Today's presentation is very multimedia. It uses a lot of medias from graphic to video and audio. In terms of graphic, when you want to put photo picture in your slide, you have to make sure that the pictures are clear. They should be sharp, but they must be clear. This is the ultimate point. If it is not clear, it's not going to be very sharp. And if it is not sharp and not clear, your audience is not going to enjoy it. So what should you do? Well, when you want to put photo in your slide, make sure the minimum resolution of the photo is 400 times 300. This number is adequate because with 400 times 300, you can still enlarge the picture to fill the whole slide without having to be afraid that the picture will be pixelated. Now, this often happens when the picture is of low resolution. For example, when you have 150 times 150, the picture resolution will break when you enlarge it. So, when you look for picture in Google and Flickr or whatever sources you have on internet, you have to make sure that the resolution, the minimum resolution should be 400 times 300. And when you want to put all pictures in one slide, do not try to abuse it to the point that you make your picture ridiculous. Like this picture's example. The designer stretched the picture horizontally, which make it ridiculous. And when you stretch it vertically, it's even more ridiculous. Don't do that. And don't even think about tiling it. That is horrible. When you do this kind of presentation, when you design this kind of slideshow, anyone who watch it is going to laugh at you. Even if they don't laugh at you, they will think that you are amateur and you know nothing about PowerPoint design. So make and present your picture as natural as possible. Use your aesthetic sense. Be artistic. You are as a PowerPoint designer, you are not a presenter, you are an artist. So try to design your PowerPoint in the most artistic way that it will not just look beautiful, but it also look natural. About pictures themselves, how many pictures should you put in your slide? Well, depending on your purpose, but if you want to put pictures in your slide, you have to make sure that they are relevant to your topic. Now, we take a sample from Bill Gates. This is a true example. This is a real example, real life example from Bill Gates when he was introducing Microsoft Live platform. He actually wants to talk about what Microsoft Windows Live can do to its users. That when people use Microsoft Live, they can use Office, they can play game in Xbox, they can even connect their computer with other devices. But in explaining that, Bill Gates put too many pictures in one slide. Not just picture, he also put many words, which make the slides cluttered. Even layman will think that this slide is confusing because, well, obviously, when you look at this slide, you have no idea where you are going to start. Should I start from the bottom to the from the top to the bottom, or should I start from left to right? Is it going to be left top to the bottom right, or whatever you want to whatever way you want to read the slide? But the bottom line is this slide is not clear. There is no clear purpose, there is no aesthetic in its design, and they are confusing. They are just the slide is just too noisy in our eyes. Now, when we look at the way Steve Jobs designed his slides, we see that his slide is very simple, very easy to understand. You only have three pictures and just a minimum number of words. You have the title, and then you have the subtitle explaining the pictures, which is great because actually people don't have enough time to read all the words, and they don't even have enough um, time to memorize all of them. But by giving them minimum number of pictures, three at the most, and minimal words, it's easier for people to look at the pictures and connect it with the words and remember it. And when they listen to the presenter, it's even easier because they just connect the words from the presenter with the pictures they see in the slide. And after all, the slides look aesthetic because it is easy to understand, it is easy to see. So use pictures wisely. If you want to use, if you want to put 5 pictures in one slide, you must have a very good reason to do that. As long as 3 pictures can talk much, then you don't need more than 3 pictures. So as a presenter, it is your job to find the most relevant pictures that you can use and put into your slide. Focal point is the next thing that we have to discuss. When we put pictures and combine it with words, you should use your artistic sense. Now, in these two slides, we see the slide on the left has no focal point. The problem here, the pictures are too small. Not only that, the words are too small. We can read the title, but not the body text. So when you want to connect the words and the pictures, you have problem because you have no focal point. What is the focus? Is it about exercise boost brain function, or is it about two reasons? There is no focus in the left slide, but in the right slide, the focus is very clear. You have the word aerobic exercise boost brain function, and you have a single picture that shows a man doing aerobic exercise, jogging on a beach. Now, the words support the picture, and the picture also support the word. And we have the focal point right in the man in the jogger. That's the focal point. So, as presenter, as PowerPoint designer, you have to be very careful when you want to combine picture with words. Think about the focus, because the focus is going to lead your audience eyes. Here are some examples from slides from other presenters. Now, in this example, this is not a good slide. First of all, you have too many words. The slide only want to describe spinach, but there are too many words. One picture is actually enough. There is already one good picture about spinach. So why should the presenter use two? This slide is also bad. The slide actually wants to describe the 3 ways to prevent Alzheimer's disease: consuming healthy food, consuming vitamins, engaging in intellectual activities. The problem, the designer put too many pictures for each point, like consuming healthy food. Actually, one picture is enough, but why should he use 3 pictures which are about the same thing, vegetables and fruits? And then about consuming vitamins. Actually, one picture of vitamin bottles are enough. There is no need to put another picture. In intellectual activities, from all the pictures here, we see that chess is a very good representation of intellectual activities. You don't need picture of man playing banjo or a man listening to music or reading books. So that's what I mean with finding relevant picture. Whatever words you put in your slide, if you need picture to describe them, then find the one that is very representative for the words. And this one is better. Traveling revitalize ourselves. You have picture a woman who is stressed, and you have the word reduce our stress level, help breaking the monotony in life, and help us sustain our energy and vitality. So here we see a good example of how picture work together with the words. This one is even better. You have less words. This is really not good. And this is a great thing, because you have no words at all. You just have pictures. So this is a big challenge for you as a presenter and PowerPoint designer. Are you able to create PowerPoint slideshow that are clear enough for the audience to see and understand, but also good enough for your presenter to work with? About photos, sometimes people often ask what kind of photos should they use. Should they use real photo, or can we use cartoon or clip art? Well, PowerPoint comes with clip art collection. The problem here, this is 2013. We don't really need clip art. If you need picture, it's better that you find a real photo, because it looks professional. First of all, it looks professional, and it is more realistic. If you use clip art, your photo, your picture doesn't look realistic, and it looks childish. In 1993, clip art comes in one package with PowerPoint, because at that time the condition was very difficult for people to find a good quality picture. 1993, the internet was being developed. It wasn't as good as it is today. So to help people design PowerPoint, Microsoft packed PowerPoint with clip art. But this is 2013. Finding high quality picture is not a big problem. You just Google it. You can go to professional websites providing you with professional photos such as uh, 123RF or Flickr or Photobucket or iStock photo. There is no problem for you finding high quality picture. And in fact, when you use clip art or cartoon in your PowerPoint design, your slides will look cheesy, doesn't look professional. If you don't want people to think that you are childish, you are not professional, then spend your time finding the most relevant pictures and make it a real life picture. About PowerPoint. Now, PowerPoint comes with different templates. However, people are often too lazy to modify the PowerPoint template. Now, since people are very familiar with PowerPoint, I think it is a very great idea if you as a designer modify the PowerPoint template. You can do this simply by changing the slide color, the background color of the slide, or you can change the font type. Let's say the slide came with Calibri as the default font. You can change it into Gill Sans, for example. But the slide color background, if the slides come with white color as its background, you can change it into black. So just do anything that you can do to make your PowerPoint slideshow doesn't look like a template. If you say that you are a creative and imaginative person, you have to prove it. And the best way to prove it is by modifying your PowerPoint template. Don't be a regular guy if you can be extraordinary. Chart, well, sometimes we need chart to translate numbers into the most meaningful form. However, each chart has its own purpose. When you want to describe percentage, pie chart is the best choice. There is no chart that can explain percentage better than pie chart. When you want to describe changes in quantity, you can try vertical bar chart. If you want to compare, you use horizontal bar chart. And when you want to show trend in a market or trend in behavior, then you can always use line chart. So even though PowerPoint comes with chart that can help you translating numbers into figures, you have to be very careful with its use. There, again, when you want to display percentage, use pie chart. If you want to show changes in quantity, use vertical bar chart. When you want to compare quantities, you use horizontal bar chart. And when you want to show trend, use line chart. How about if you want to present table? Well, just present it. Table is great when you want to show side-by-side comparison. Now, if you want to show your high contribution, you can use vertical bar chart. But if you want to downplay your lower contribution or you want to hide small number of something, then stick to the table. Don't translate it into chart. Now, color. Color, well, previously I said that you have to modify the PowerPoint template that you use. It's great. However, when you modify, you have to think about the color. So color has effect to our eyes. When you use bright colors, then the effect is they are active because bright colors are warm, so they look active. Dark colors, on the other hand, are cool and passive. Cool to see, but it will create a passive impression. So if you are an active person, you, you have to use warm active color. If your topic about something fun, something happy, stick to the warm color. But if your presentation topic is something that is sad, gloomy, or not really active, you can use cool color. In terms of color in PowerPoint design, if you do your presentation in a bright room, it is good if you use bright background color in your slide because it will bring out the words and the pictures. You see, when you use bright color as the background of your slide, the words and the picture will appear as if they are coming to your audience. If you do your presentation in a dark room, then use a dark background color. Even though it will create an impression that the words are coming going away from your audience, but then again the dark background will give emphasis to the words. When you do a presentation in ambient light room, a room with combination of bright and dark, then you can also use a combination of dark slide background with bright words. So think about this when you do your presentation. Where are you going to do it? In a bright room, dark room, or ambient light room? How about if you want to work with colorful picture and you want to show words? This is often a challenge. Like in the above picture. In the above picture, we have a small frog. The frog is very colorful, and we have words on above the frog. Now, no matter how big you make the words, the picture of the frog will always look interesting, and the eyes of your audience will be always drawn to the frog instead of to the words. If you want to keep your audience eyes centered in the word, then you can use highlighting technique. Like the bottom one, this is what we call as reverse type. In reverse type, you highlight the words so that it will have the same effect as the colorful object. Next slide, adjusting color to your topic. If you want to talk about something bad as Dracula, then you know the background color of your slide should be something dark, gothic. But when you want to talk about something about related to water, such as swimming, then the color background of your slide should be related to swimming. Now, the most common color associated with swimming, water, is blue. If you want to talk about vegetable, naturally you use green as your slide background color. You want to talk about tomato, then your background of your slide should be red. Oftentimes when we do presentation in front of a group of people, we don't realize that there might be a colorblind person in that group of people. We are not aware of that because sometimes colorblind people do not admit that they are colorblind. Now, if you want to check whether your picture, your graph, your chart are visible in the eyes of colorblind, I suggest that you upload the picture to facecheck.com. Facecheck.com is a unique website. This website is a functional website, and the purpose of this website is to simulate the look, the appearance of a picture in front of colorblind people. I'll give you an example. So here, this is an image capture on the screen of the website. the picture on the left is the original picture that I upload into fishcheck.com, and the picture on the right shows how the chart look like to the eyes of a colorblind people. As you can see, to normal people, they can see the difference between red and green. But to colorblind people, they cannot differentiate it because the red and the green, they look the same. In 2009 World Cup, the final was between Spain and Holland. The, the main color of Spain jersey is red, while Holland is orange. So for normal people, there is no difficulty to tell the difference between Spanish, and Holland. The problem here, when colorblind people look at the color of the jerseys of Spain and Holland, they look at the same color. To the eyes of colorblind people, red looks like green, a dark green, and orange look like a light green, which is why at the final, Spain decides to wear their blue costume, because blue in the eyes of colorblind people looks like blue. So when they watch the final match between Spain and Holland in 2009 World Cup, they can tell which one is their favorite team, and they can give their support to the team that they really favor the most. So, you see, color is not an easy thing. This is not something that you can underestimate. So, next time when you want to display photo or chart in your slideshow, you have to make sure that they are easy to see and they are understandable by everyone in your audience, not just normal people, but also the colorblind people. And then we also have to learn about contrast. Oftentimes, we just put words and combine it with colors as its background, and we don't realize that words, the color of the words that we choose blends with the color of background, making the words difficult to read. Like picture on the left, it shows Bill Gates with his slides with very few readable words, because most of the words that they display in the slide are not only small, but they are not contrast enough. Steve Jobs' slideshow, on the other hand, is very easy to read. The words contrast with the background because they use different colors. So when you want to use various color as the background of your slide, you have to think carefully about its purpose. We don't have to work in color. Oftentimes, we can work in monochrome. In fact, working in monochrome will help you when you want to emphasize on something. The font. This is a very uh, this is the very least thing that presentation PowerPoint designer think about. But like it or not, they play a big part. You see, the font that you choose will represent yourself. In terms of fonts, there are two fonts in general, serif and sans serif. The serif fonts are Times New Roman, Garamond, Palatino, Bookman or Style. The sans serif are Arial, Tahoma, Gill Sans, Verdana, Helvetica. Now when you look at the slide here, you see that sans serif always look bigger and readable than the serif. It is not a big surprise because sans serif fonts are the most common font used in visual language. Take a look at posters. Any kind of poster. Film poster, bazaar poster, exhibition poster. You will see that poster always use sans serif. Now, serif work best when they are used in printed material such as books or newspaper. But as a visual language, sans serif is always better because it looks big enough, and the word, when you take a closer look at the letter, they are spaced instead of condensed. Now you can use any kind of sans serif typography. There are many kinds of them in your Microsoft PowerPoint or in your font collection. How about fancy font? Can we use fancy fonts in our slideshow? Yeah, but I suggest that you use fancy fonts as title. Don't use fancy fonts as the body text of your slide. Take a look at Bauhaus. The Bauhaus font will look great as title. But can you imagine if 3 sentences are printed in Bauhaus or Braggadocio? Yeah, I don't think so. And sound effects. The modern version of PowerPoints not only comes with built text animation but also with sound effects. And people are beginning to use sound effects in their slideshow to the point that people again abuse it. Let's take a look at this example. Oh, so slow. How long I'm going to wait for that? Ooh, right. Now that's annoying. That's annoying. The first time you hear, it sounds okay. But the second time, the third time, it sounds annoying. Now imagine you have 10 points, and for each point you always hear that sound, that nagging sound. So when you want to use sound effects in your PowerPoint, you gotta ask yourself about your purpose. What is your intention? Do you need do you think your audience needs sound effects in your Microsoft PowerPoint slideshow? Don't don't ask do you need, but do you think your audience need? Do they need that? Again, are you trying to show off? Are you trying to show your PowerPoint design skill? Hey, you are not the only one who can use PowerPoint. There are many people out there that can use PowerPoint, and some of them might be even better than you. So unless you are doing a presentation in front of a group of children, it's better not to use sound effects when you do professional presentation in front of professionals, adults, or older people. Okay, your PowerPoint is finished. You have finished designing your PowerPoint. You have taken care all the typography choice, the the background color of your slides, etc., etc. Now, before you finally say that your PowerPoint is done, spend a time in slide order. Just click at the button and you can overlook your all the slides that you have created in one single big display. And you can use this to see whether you have got everything correct. So the slide order works like a light box. You can take a look at the whole slides in your PowerPoint file. You can check about the size of the font. You can check at the contrast, the quality of the picture. Now, when you are finished with that, when you have finished overviewing all the slides in slide order, you can tell yourself that you are done and you can save your file. However, anytime you want to edit it, you are free to do so. But remember this, when you design your PowerPoint slideshow, You have to put yourself in the position of your audience, not just the position of you as a presenter, but about your audience. Don't just make a PowerPoint slide that is easy for you but difficult for your audience. You have to get a balance. If you think the PowerPoint is easy for you, then it must also be easy for the audience. Now, what is the best way to tell whether your audience will like your presentation or not? Well, you can simply do a tryout. Find someone, your friends, your relative, your brother, someone in the family, and ask him or her to preview your slideshow. You play the slideshow, you deliver your presentation, and then uh, ask your audience. Does he like the slideshow? Does she like the slideshow? Are there any input or suggestion that they can give to you to improve your slideshow? If there are, use their inputs, improve your slideshow before you finally present your slideshow in front of the real audience. Okay, so I think that's it. The key here is preparation. As long as your preparation is good, the result will always be good. But if you fail to prepare, then you prepare to fail. There is no such thing as surprise by failure. Well then, thanks for watching. If you miss any information, you can always play the video from the beginning. I also suggest that you find other source of information about PowerPoint design from internet or books. Thank you. See you again next time. Ciao.